Anne Powell with Tune Media, and we are here at SEMA 2019 in the wonderful Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, for those of you who don't know, SEMA is the place for the hottest builds, concepts, and extreme ideas. We're going to take a walk around the show and find the hottest of hot. I'm here with Mike Duval of Duval Offroad Designs, and just behind me is this beautiful Jeep Gladiator. Can you tell me about this build?
Well, yeah, it's an interesting build. I built this for one of my best friends, and we've fully equipped it with a huge complement of AFV and sway-away products. And his initial drive with it was driving it out here, so he hasn't even actually gotten to use it. So he's really excited to get out of here. But it's fully equipped for what they call overlanding now, which I call camping. Fully self-contained. It's got a tent, an awning. It's got bins in the back. It's got communications, and like I said, it's got a 5-inch suspension package from FabTech. It's got the clearance, it's got 40-inch tires. I mean, it's a total package for a Gladiator.
So now, I know with SEMA builds, there can always be a little bit of trauma that happens. Have you had any interesting stories with this?
Little bit would be short selling it. This was probably one of the most tragic / fantastic builds that we did. I originally ordered a launch edition, which was a pre-order from Fiat Chrysler, and while we were waiting for it and while we can track as it progresses towards us, it was a day away on the Utah-Nevada border, and I saw the headlines that morning, and it was a picture of 36 rail cars derailed, and the front shot was a red Gladiator totally destroyed. I called the dealer, and they were tracking the time frame, and they go, no, that was a different train. Then a half hour later, we find out, no, it was that train, it was early. So now I don't have a Gladiator. And fortunately, the dealer that I work with, I know the owner, and he had one red Gladiator Rubicon on his lot, so we stole that from him. So we were only backed up a day, but our launch edition launched, and this one became the Taz Mangler Gladiator that he wanted built. So he freaked out for about 24 hours, and then he was back to normal. But yeah, it was literally one of the strangest SEMAs we had as far as catastrophes with vehicles. Now,
do you guys have any future plans or additions for this vehicle?
This one is pretty much finished, as is the other one. Sometimes that's a rarity out here at SEMA, and there's still wires to hook up and things, but we, in 20-something years of coming out here, we've always prided ourselves on everything's functional, turnkey, ready to go, and this is an example of that. It's 100% ready.
Fantastic. Now, for the viewers, where can they find out more information about Duval?
We have a website, DuvalOffroadDesigns.com, and we have a second website, ExtremeToys.com, but it's X-TREMETOYZ.com. So we spell it weird just to keep it different.
Different is good. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you very much.
With Mark Rossetti of AFV Power. Now, what is your role with the company?
I'm in a sales and a product development, product manager role. What I do is the suspension line for our company as well as sales, so I handle a lot of the large distribution warehouses.
Now, can you tell me about this beautiful Supra that's behind me?
Yes, so we, one of our owners has this beautiful Mark IV that we've got here to my right, and we knew that when the 2020 Supra was going to come out, it was going to be an iconic vehicle. It was going to share the same heritage as the Classic and be a real tuner enthusiast vehicle. Because our company has many different product categories and groups that we have, we can offer a whole package for the vehicle and have a really nice, robust upgrade for it.
And do you know if there's any future mods to be added to this car?
Yeah, correct. We're in development right now on a cold air intake. We're going to have charge pipes. Those are the intercooler pipes. We have suspension upgrades planned, sway bars, coilovers, springs, so we'll have quite a bit to offer for it. We also have an electronic tuner module that we're developing. That's a plug-and-play device. It's after the ECU, so it doesn't store any codes. The vehicle can still go in for warranty report and doesn't show a record of it.
So now with the SEMA Crunch, I know that everybody can have a horror story. Is there a horror story behind the Supra?
Yeah, there most definitely is. About a week prior to the show, we had the vehicle strapped to the dyno, and in that process it was actually pulling the wheels slightly, and on these electronic steering vehicles that can sometimes actually break the power steering. So we went into it a week before the show without power steering, tried to get parts through the Toyota network, and because it's a brand new vehicle, those parts aren't yet available.
Right.
So we ended up trailing the vehicle up here and bringing it in, but it does not have power steering right now.
Okay, well, with it being such a small vehicle, I'm assuming that it's probably not too heavy, right?
Yeah, not too bad when you're moving, but when you're trying to navigate through the show and make all those tight turns at low speed, it gets pretty tough.
Well, so for the viewers, where can they find more information on AFV Power?
Or visit our website, afvpower.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Here with Rick Malone, the chief instructor and director of the Ron Fellows Performance Driving Academy at Spring Mountain. And you guys have a pretty good relationship with Chevy. What's the deal there?
We sure do. We're actually the official driving school for Corvette.
Now, I have this incredibly gorgeous car behind me. The word on the street is the C8 is a great platform. Why did you guys choose it?
Well, you know, GM has taken that 7th generation as far as it go with the front engine rear drive, so it was time to take that next step. And Zora Duntov had this dream years ago, and it's finally come to fruition. So this 8th generation, this car handles like no other car. It's an amazing car. It's the visibility out the front window. I mean, you can just see everything. It feels like a light car. Getting in and out of the car, ingress and egress, is really super simple. So this just made sense to take that next step. And then we're really proud to be part of GM's program as well, you know, subsidizing the driving school.
Well, thank you so much, Rick, for joining us. And for the people who are viewing, where can they find out more information about the school?
Well, we can go to racespringmountain.com and click onto the Ron Fellows Performance Driving School page, and that'll give you all the information that you need about the program.
Thank you so much. With Melvin Betancourt, design manager, and behind me I have this gorgeous GT500. Now, I'm really curious what your role is with this vehicle.
Well, my role as a design manager is to basically design the car, right? So we have a design team. We have a process that we go through different variations of building cars, but we also do sketching, and once we get the ideas of what we want to do with the package, then we converse with our designers. We start looking at adjectives. What are some of the names? Some of the things we looked at were like slippery, fluidity, aero. Right. So some of the trends that we looked at, aside from our typical trends and architecture, apparel, and all that, we started to look at those adjectives, and then we started looking at planes, we started looking at boats, we started to look at all these different products, right? So one of the themes that we used was a jet fighter on this particular car.
So every car designer knows that there can be hiccups with a build. What is any issues that you guys encountered with this?
On this particular car, we knew from the beginning of time that we had to create a car that is breathtaking, looks like it's going 100 miles an hour, standing still, but it also had to work. Right. So this car easily became a numbers car. And what I mean by a numbers car is that we had to have design, the cross-functional teams, which is engineering, suspension, the aero guys, and basically debate, right? So once we had the theme, we knew what the car looked like, but now we had to prove the car. For example, on the edge of the grille, I started with the GT350 because I wanted to start with something to basically tie it in. But I found out when the engineering came back from the aero that I needed, on that particular edge right there, a 10 mil radii, and I didn't like that. I wanted my 2.5, 3 mil radii. So we went to the aero dynamics, and then we started to lift the front end of the center line of the grill 1 millimeter at a time. Okay. And by the time we hit like 4.5 mils, I was able to get my 2.5, 3 mil radii.
So what is something that you have added on the vehicle that has been productive and a positive aspect?
Well, everything basically has a function. This car is you know, and I don't want to sound cliche, but it's form follows function, right? So one of the things too is we as designers, we wanted to put some sort of a power dome on the hood because the hood is so voluptuous, and we actually shrank it around the supercharger and all the different areas. But one of the things is, like I said, it's one of the biggest production hood vents, right? And by doing that, you know, again, it took a collaboration with the engineering, the cross-functional teams to get what we have and to make it look as dynamic and as fluid as it is there.
So my favorite part of this car is the rear end. I have a 2015 personally, and looking at the rear of the car, it is absolutely gorgeous. I've heard rumors that there used to be no hips on the car.
Okay, so now you're going to take me back down to 2015.
Yeah.
And at one point when we were designing the car, we had what the designers wanted was a hip, right? And then we had one without. Well, you know, as anything, the hip cost a few dollars, right? So we had Parasac and the upper management come look at it, and when they saw the car, they said, we gotta have hips. So that's fantastic, which I love. But then when we went to the GT350, we actually wanted to put shoulder pads, right? So we did that, and we brought the wheel outboard maybe 12 mils. Right. But on the 500, we had to put 20-inch wheels, a wider wheel, and Carl Whitman, the chief engineer, says, I need more width. Yeah. And I said, no problem. So we ended up putting another 12, 13 mils, which when you draw a straight line from the front fender to the rear fender, now you can actually emphasize the Coke shape that's in the body. And that's one of the things that we really, really loved in putting in this vehicle. But at the same time, it works, right? But it enhances your hips, and now you have your shoulder pads, which is fantastic.
Yep. So from the man himself, how fun was it to design this car, and how fun is it to drive?
Oh my God. Well, so we were here last week, we launched the car, and I was able to drive it. Now, me owning a GT350R, I have to say that my R is more of an enthusiast car, and the GT500 is sure out performance. Right. But when you drive it, I just felt like I took it to Mount Charleston. Yeah. So I took it up there, 2.5 hour drive. I felt like I can drive this car cross country, right? Came back, I had the ability to take it in the track. Now I consider myself a kind of a novice driver, but when I got in this car and I was in the track, I felt like I was here. Really? So this car is just amazing. And then I was able to also take it on the drag strip and use the launch control, which is amazing too. I mean, this car is, I don't know how to explain it, but everybody that knows me will say, Melvin, you've been on Mustang since 99 model year. Yeah. Which is your favorite Mustang? And I always say, I love all my children. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna lie this time, because I'm gonna say, this is the car to get. Yep. This is the most fun to drive, and this is the only car right now that you get design, performance, and technology.
Fantastic. So for the viewers, where can they find out more information about this car?
Well, just go to Ford.com and build your car.
Thank you so much, Melvin.
You're welcome.
This has been one of the biggest and baddest shows of the year. Now, if you've enjoyed our SEMA coverage, if you want to see more videos and get more information, make sure to check us out at tunemedia.com. We'll see you next year.